Welcome to Wasatch Weekends. I'm your host, Kimberly Perot. It's going to be a great show because it is the Friday before Christmas. We'll be talking to Katy WANg, talking about all things Park City Film. Plus, I show you how to make a delicious sugar cookie latte. Now, let's stay tuned and check out the weather.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters. It's the weekend in the Wasatch Range, and you know what that means. Katy WANg is here to talk all things Park City Film. Katy, how are you this morning?
I'm well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
So we are in the Christmas weekend, but that does not mean that the movies don't stop playing. Tell me all about the things that you're offering this weekend.
So we have a great film. It is holiday themed in an independent film kind of way, but it's with Paul Giamatti. It's called The Holdovers. And Paul Giamatti, who is just such a fantastic actor, we have not seen enough of, but he plays kind of an ill-tempered history professor at a boarding school in New England in the 1970s. And there are these group of kids called the Holdovers, as the name suggests, who for whatever reason can't go home for the holidays. So he is stuck babysitting, essentially chaperoning these kids and the school's chef over the holiday weekend. And just kind of how that story unfolds is just so delightful. It kind of just the interaction between the different actors, the adventures that they go on. Of course, calamity ensues, hilarity, right? It's a fun kind of comedy film, but also just there's kind of a weightiness to it, of just kind of that unexpected pleasure of finding discovering new relationships, discovering something new about someone that you thought you knew all about, right? Here's this teacher who's just kind of irascible, kind of a pain in the butt to all the students. And then you find out what his human side is like. And equally for the student who's kind of always needling his teacher, what's his backstory? What's the backstory of the cook who no one really thinks about, but is really the underpinning of the school. And so it kind of comes together in that beautiful way of just how their stories intertwine and just kind of create this bond over the course of the weeks that they're together. So we're really excited to bring this in for the Christmas weekend. It was a hit at the Telluride Film Festival, so we knew that it would be something we'd want to bring in this time of year for sure.
Well, Paul Giamatti is such a heavy hitter and a versatile actor, and so this will be a fun version of him that you probably haven't seen in a while. So what else is going on with Park City Film coming up, and what can we expect?
So people don't miss out on the show, we are closed Christmas Eve, which is Sunday night. So we'll be showing The Holdovers Friday and Saturday at 7. So if you want to come see this great film, definitely join us on Friday or Saturday night. And we're actually going to show it again on New Year's weekend. So we have our audiences are a little diminished over the holiday weekends, as you can imagine. It's a little hard to compete with both Christmas and New Year's Eve. So we thought that we would to kind of mix things up a little bit this year and hold it over 2 weekends so that folks would have an opportunity to see the films. But in terms of end of year, we are, of course, looking at year-end donations, year-end memberships. We have a challenge grant from Will and Carol Hodgman that will match all new memberships, anyone that levels up their membership. If you're looking for that last minute holiday gift, stocking stuffer, hostess gift, look no further than Park City Film. If you have some time to spare, we'd love to have you join us for the Sundance Film Festival and help us pop some popcorn for the masses. We're about 80% full, but we got to bridge that 20% gap to get us across the line. We use over 100 volunteers for the Sundance Film Festival. So parkcityfilm.org has all that information and more if you are interested.
Absolutely. I love the holdovers being held over the holiday weekend. So nice play on words there, but it sounds like such a fun and delightful movie, especially, to avoid the crowds of going to a traditional movie theater and seeing all that. I love what you do. Now, in regard to Sundance, you mentioned 80% filled as far as volunteers. We can go to parkcityfilm.org to volunteer and sign up for that last 20%. Is that correct?
Yes, yep. So if you go to the volunteer tab, it's in the upper right-hand corner, or just scroll down to the bottom of the page. And this is completely separate from the Sundance Film Festival kind of official program, Sundance Institute's program. So we don't give you a fancy jacket, I'm sorry, but you also don't have to stand outside. So there's the plus side. But our shifts are about 4 hours long, all inside, of course, selling concessions, making popcorn. You get, in exchange, you'll get free tickets either to the Sundance Film Festival or to Park City Films. You can come back and see some of the great films that, of course, will be premiering at the festival when the crowds have abated in a little more relaxed environment. But it's a lot of fun. It's a great way to see the festival from a completely different angle. I mean, just film lovers from all over the world, whether they're actors or directors or just someone from Topeka, Kansas, to someone from London, England, who's just here to experience the joy of cinema. It's just great to kind of commune with them and share tips and, your thoughts on different films. And every year we have people coming back because they just love the experience so much.
Well, we love what you do here in the community. I think it's just a wonderful thing to go see movies and to see movies that are unique and hand-selected specifically for the Park City community. So Katy WANg, thank you so much for all that you do. And where can we go to buy tickets for this upcoming film?
Parkcityfilm.org to buy tickets for the holdovers. I do want to note that we've had over the past couple months some issues with our online ticketing system, but we have changed to a new platform and it is amazing and it works very well. So do not be deterred if you had a bad experience previously. I apologize, but we have upgraded and it's a much better experience. Or you can just show up at the door. We open the box office an hour before showtime. We have almost over 400 seats in our theater, so plenty of room to accommodate film lovers and their friends and family if they have a spontaneous change of plans or just want to go see a movie with us over the next 2 weekends. We'd love to have you.
The holdovers, 7 p.m. this weekend and New Year's weekend. So Katy, thanks so much for coming on and have a happy holiday season.
Happy holidays and happy solstice.
Absolutely. Now stay tuned. We'll be right back with more right after this.
You may be hosting your friends and family this weekend, and you just don't want to go to Starbucks because it is causing so much of a big bill for you. Well, I show you how to make a delicious sugar cookie latte with Ross in the kitchen just to circumvent those costs. Let's take a look. We are in the kitchen for the second day in a row.
Yes.
I'm making Ross into a chef.
Yes.
He doesn't know yet, but that was part of the reason he signed up for this job.
Yeah,
Cooking lessons on air.
Yeah.
But we are actually going to make, I love a good holiday festive cocktail, and I traveled this past weekend, went to one of the local coffee shops, and they were all out of the festive holiday drinks. I know, can you believe it? So we are making a Starbucks dupe, or a fancy coffee shop dupe, I guess I shouldn't say Starbucks, a sugar cookie latte recipe. And the trick to that is all in the simple syrup. Did you know that?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Of course,
yeah.
Obviously. So it's super simple. You can use an espresso or regular coffee. If you're making this at home, chances are you're probably just making a regular coffee, but we're gonna go ahead and get started and we're gonna make this simple syrup. And this is where the secret ingredient kicks in. So I'll tell you all about it. With it, we've got, you've got 3 different extracts in this one. So a butter extract, and that's what's gonna make it taste like the cookie. And we've got a vanilla extract and almond extract. So 3 different extracts, 2 different kinds of sugar, and some water. It's pretty simple.
Love it. Love it. Sounds
awesome.
delicious.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, Ross, I'm going to tell you what to do, and we're going to start mixing things up in our pot to make our simple syrup. So we need about 1/4 of a cup of water to get started, and the water will be our base. So we've got a bottle of water here. I've got the man in the kitchen to open things for me. Just kidding, I could do it myself. But we're gonna pour about a half, we've got a half a cup right here, measurement style. So we'll just do about half of that with water. And then we'll pour the water in here. So looks great. We've got it, it's already heated, nice and sizzling. Next, we're gonna add our sugar. So we've got 2 different kinds of sugar. If you want to reduce some of the sugar count, you can use a monk fruit sweetener, which is actually what we're gonna do here today. We're going to do about 1/4 of a cup of this. So same thing, we're just gonna take our cup measuring, or our measuring cup, and do about half of it. So no pressure.
Are we doing this monk fruit?
We're doing the monk fruit
Okay.
sweetener versus regular granulated sugar, but we will have 2 kinds of sugar in this. So just about half. Looks good to me.
Straight
We'll
in?
just dump it straight in there. Now we're gonna add a little bit of the brown sugar because if you recall, when you're making cookies from scratch, you usually have 2 kinds of sugar in it. So we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar into our mix. The tablespoons are the big ones. If you're not a big cook in the kitchen, make sure you use the biggest spoon for tablespoons. I can help
We're
you out
getting there.
We're getting there. So it's really super simple, and you just want to start like kind of just making sure that the sugar doesn't burn. We'll just do 2 of those. Yeah, it doesn't have to be super packed in there.
We're gonna be a little generous with the brown sugar.
We are, I'm okay with that. Now the next pieces are the fun ones. So we're gonna go ahead and separate this. We need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So vanilla is like a staple in all things baking, you know.
Yeah.
We'll do about 1 teaspoon in here. There we go, perfect. It's okay if you go a little extra, as I always say. Vanilla, you can always go a little bit overboard and it'll taste good. Then we're gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of the butter extract, and that's what's gonna make it taste like a cookie. So just 1/2 teaspoon of that. There we go. And then we're gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of the almond extract. And I love a good almond flavor when I'm baking. Sometimes I actually swap out my vanillas and my almonds and it tastes quite delicious.
It smells amazing right now.
It does, right? We're just having a little Christmas cheer over here. It's a sugar cookie latte, but I think you could really actually use it all times of the year, right? So we're just gonna stir it a little bit. You know, it really doesn't matter. Minimal tools in the kitchen if you need it. You're just gonna stir it. You can see it's starting to like brown up a little bit. You just want to reduce it down and like let it thicken.
Cool.
And then this is gonna be our simple syrup.
Cool.
Now, the best part about simple syrup, making it from scratch, this will last about 2 weeks in the fridge if you wanted to keep it in the fridge. So that way you've got delicious lattes for 2 weeks long. It's probably just about the same price as buying it at a Starbucks. So I think it's a win over here. But then really super simple. You know, are you an espresso guy or are you a coffee guy?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Depends on the day.
All right. So if you were ordering, would you prefer a latte or coffee? What would you do this morning?
I like the skinny flat whites, like the small one, like
big
a
flat
little
white.
less milk, you know.
I'm about the same. So what's great about this, you can follow exact measurements to make this coffee cocktail, I guess you could call it, or you can kind of just freehand it. So we warmed up some milk. You can use any milk that you want to. So for each latte, you'd probably do about 3/4 of a cup of milk. But for you, if you prefer a little bit less, you just do like half if you want to. And so this is starting to look really good here. We're just gonna let it simmer a little bit. And then you do about, to get a true like ratio so you can really taste the syrup, you do about 3/4 of a cup of coffee. And then like 3/4 of a cup of milk, and then 1/4 of a cup of coffee. So less coffee, more milk for that true latte. You can froth it up with like a little frother or steam it, whatever you've got on hand, or you can just warm it up and it tastes delicious.
Lovely.
So we'll go ahead and we've got our fun Christmas coffee mugs here, or winter coffee mugs, I guess you could say, and a little bit of coffee. So we'll pour some coffee into it. Wish us luck though, it could be messy.
So we'll do about half and half.
I'll do about half and half in there, and you just want to pour that in there. As you can see, this simple syrup
look at
is
Kim, don't
really
look at me.
starting to look nice. It's browned a little bit because of the different extracts that we've got. Smells delicious. Do you smell the sugar cookie?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I also smell the coffee I just spilled all over the counter.
Hey, it's okay, you know, it's live TV, live cooking, all the deliciousness. So then once we do that, we can actually add a little bit of milk into both of them as
Okay.
well. And our milk is warm, so it's not gonna cool down the coffee. And we'll just keep stirring it here. This simple syrup is looking great. And just keep letting it kind of burn down a little bit. And you know, it's bubbling up, and that means that it's reducing. So the sugar is starting to caramelize and get a little bit thicker. That's where the water base kind of keeps it from going. Loving Ross's face right now. One of my favorite things about being in the kitchen with Ross is watching the outcome.
You got a little cleaning up to do after this, that's for sure.
Hey, it's like a kitchen at home, you know? It's like made with love.
That's what it is. Well, when you bake, you have to be very precise, right?
Exactly. But you know, that's the beauty of this. We're not really baking.
This is
it's
just
the latte.
Yep.
It smells like a cookie, but it's not.
Cool.
So, and then if you really want it to be sweet, and I'm like a medium sweet kind of girl.
Okay.
So typically I would do about 3 tablespoons of our simple syrup. but I don't know about you. I'm probably gonna do 2 in this latte and try it out. So what's your?
I'll take whatever's left over.
Well, hopefully not too much.
No, you
Yep,
tell
it
me.
looks great to me. We're just gonna go ahead and do a couple of spoonfuls here. One there.
That was pretty. You made that look very easy. You want to do another one?
We'll do another one, why not? You know, it is pretty easy. And the best part is because our coffee's hot, we don't have to let this cool. It'll just taste quite delicious.
These are some nice mugs too.
I won't tell you where I got them, but a local artist.
Love that. Love that.
By the name of Amazon.
Love that.
All right. And the best part about this is because it's the holiday season, I normally don't do whipped cream on my coffee. Yes. But we are making a delicious Starbucks dupe in a gorgeous mug. We don't have the paper cup mugs.
Yes.
I'm just going to do a little bit of whipped cream along the top. Do you want some?
There is more whipped cream than coffee right now.
Well,
And that's how I like it.
TBD. But this is what it would look like. You can add some sprinkles to it. Just quite delicious. And I think it smells so good. So
Cheers.
Cheers. Happy Tuesday. Merry Christmas.
That's amazing.
And I taste a sugar cookie.
That's sweet,
It's
yeah.
quite delicious. So if you want the recipe, obviously ping us on our Facebook page, follow us on social media, and we'll share it with you. But it's great to have at home, especially if you're hosting a large group of people. You can just make them something delicious.
That was quick.
It was quick. Quick and easy. Not all things take forever. Anyways, we'll be right back. We are just getting started with our show. I'm really glad that I have a cup of coffee to enjoy over this next couple of hours.
Yep. All right.
We'll be right back.
All right, thanks for joining us. So the University of Utah women's basketball won their first share of the regular season Pac-12 conference title last year. Now they enter a new season as the preseason favorite in the conference, which places a target on their back. Claiming a share of the Pac-12 regular season title for the first time shows Utah women's basketball is headed in the right direction. Head coach Lynn Roberts says she now knows the recipe for success.
It just comes down to the right people. So I've got an incredible staff that makes me look good, and we have done a good job recruiting kids that fit our program and our university and our community. And I don't think there's any secret sauce other than get the right people around you and work your tail off.
Roberts enters her 9th year at the helm of the Utes women's basketball program, where her success in the Pac-12 is recent. Confidence is building among her players after back-to-back winning seasons within the conference, and they're still hungry for more.
Last year we had a great season, and we, I think, in a way proved ourselves. You know, we're not satisfied and we're just hungry to win. So it's always going to be, that's always going to be in the back of our mind, I think. And, you know, it's a good mentality to have because, you know, you're never satisfied. You're always getting better.
The program is used to being the hunter, but now they'll enter a season as the hunted. Despite the difference, Roberts says the team's mentality will remain the same.
I think what makes us great is that we still have so much to prove. I think that's what our team's about. We're very kind of blue collar, that we're great because of the sum of the parts. And that's not going to change.
The Utes entered the 2023-24 season ranked 5th in the AP Top 25. They'll match up with 6 preseason ranked teams over the course of the 2023-24 year. The University of Utah women's basketball program plays their first game November 6th in Salt Lake City against South Carolina State, and this will be our first chance to get a glance of what this team is made of entering a new season. Stick with us, we'll be right back.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
It is the Friday before Christmas. You still have time to get out there and do a little bit of holiday shopping. We have so many great stores and shops on Main Street here in Park City. We love you joining us. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.